What is up, fantasy people? Welcome into the Redraft Rehab Pod. We are your boys. We're here to help you win those fantasy leagues. As always, we are back this week with our loves, our avoids for the AFC South, right? So we want to get into the AFC South. This is going to be an interesting division, which I think is going to have some key fantasy players that we need to key in on if we're going to win those fantasy championship. Why? Because there's going to be a lot of value late in drafts, which is the key to winning. We need value late in drafts. We got a lot of newcomers, but before we get into it, let's swing it around the room. How we doing, boys?
What's good, fellas?
You
Everybody getting all
already
right?
know, Thermnation, Philly in the house, every day,
Oh,
every week, we never stop, Philly, Philly, Philly. That's all I got for you.
I'm telling you, man, it's always a pleasure. I'm your host, Pope. It's what they call me. DJ is what somebody will know me as. But for right here, we're here to help you win those fantasy championships. So without further ado, today's episode, we're going to end up going through the AFC South, right? So we have four kind of like weird teams, man. I mean, it's they're not known for being offensive juggernauts. Some of them are coming off good years, some of them come off injured quarterbacks. It's a lot of youth in this division. So I think first we're going to probably swing it to the team with probably the youngest quarterback that is an enigma right now. Brady, what's up in Tennessee? What's going on down there?
So, for fantasy purposes, I think personally the only love that I have is Tony Pollard, the running back, because
Okay.
once again, like you said, the Cam Ward is a rookie and Tennessee is not a good organization. So, who knows how that team is really ran? So, from a favorite or a love, I would say Tony Pollard. He's bound to get at least roughly, I would say a total maybe 13 or 14 total yards from the passing and the rushing attack. So he has the ability to get that
Yeah.
much. Maybe 6 to 8 touchdowns max. So depends. I'm just thinking of the usage because it's a rookie quarterback and it's a running back. So if I had
It
to,
could be hit or miss. I like it. I like that Tony Pollard right now is very free in a lot of leagues in terms of RB 23 on the ranking. So you're looking at flex spots really for him. So you don't have to spend a lot of high capital to get him. He benefited last year without Tajay Spears in the lineup for a lot of it, right? So who knows if that's going to go back to a true committee now that Tajay Spears should be healthy this year. But a rookie quarterback, I'm expecting him to be losing in a lot of games. Tony Pollard is going to be a lot of screen passes. I like the floor. So I love that for Tennessee. Any avoids that you
well,
are
before I go
actively
to a
looking
boy,
for?
I would say another. It's not a favorite, but I think he's a sleeper this year. Calvin Ridley, because he will be the
Okay.
number one option from a rookie quarterback, Cam Ward. So pretty sure that he'll get predominantly, we could just say 50% of the passes. So he's a sleeper for me. He's not really a love, but he's a sleeper for me. But I would avoid Traylon Burks. He hasn't done anything since he's been drafted. He
Oh
might have
man, this
literally,
is
I think he literally has like one touchdown since he's been drafted.
I hate to ask, could you find another avoid? Because that's like saying like a practice squad
Um,
guy. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who else is on the team.
That's
So
fair.
so avoid is just Tennessee Titans as a whole.
yeah,
Let's
pretty
just call it
much,
what
Oh,
it
that's
because
hilarious.
is.
That
and
is hilarious.
yeah, I will only avoid. I don't know who's the tight end, so only
Yeah,
person I
Ingram's
have.
gone.
Yeah,
Mm.
only avoid I have is Traylon Burks. I think literally I would even draft Spears before Traylon Burks.
Yeah,
And
I
he's a
mean,
backup.
again, I think a lot of these players are going to be very free in drafts. I think you hit the only two draftable guys. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Like uh, Calvin Ridley's wide receiver 35. He's a flex option.
Sleeper.
Pollard is going to be wide receiver 20. I mean, running back 23 right now. Again, flex territory for a running back. So those are two sleepers. Those are two late round values that I think could have some type of upside because the ball got to go somewhere in the offense. I'll ask this one question to you, Therm. I know you did absolutely zero research on Tennessee because who would? But is Cam Ward do you project this is a Caleb Williams or a JD5 type of season? Like, can he instantly come in and just ascend to some level of decency.
So I gotta say that's kind of a wild scale. You gave me like not the bottom. Caleb wasn't the bottom, but I mean win wise he was the bottom.
But it
And
was a
JD,
disappointing fantasy season, right? So Caleb
but JD
Williams,
was like the
disappointing
top.
fantasy season.
You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
I'm
Like
saying.
JD was like the ceiling.
So
So
so where would Cam
I,
Ward fit, right? Those if that's your range, either because I personally I think Cam Ward's floor is a Caleb Williams like season. Like I think he's
Yeah.
even though Tennessee isn't working with much, he's still talented enough to just put up respectable numbers. It may not be respectable fantasy numbers, but there is could he have a Jaden Daniels type of season as well? Jaden Daniels came into Washington situation with really just a Terry McLaurin there, one weapon.
no. So
Uh, so
I'd give him a more higher chance of having a CJ Stroud rookie year.
okay, so a lot of
It was a
passes,
good
a lot of yards.
Well, so and I don't even think it's going to be a lot of passes. I think he may get 3,000 yards passing, maybe.
Okay.
And touchdowns wise, passing touchdowns specifically, he might eclipse 20. But I don't expect anything wild. I don't expect him to break the rookie touchdown record. I don't expect him to just hop on the scene throwing 5K like he's Pat Mahomes. I don't expect any of that. But I think he's going to be decent at a minimum. And Tennessee, to be honest with you, they're one of the better number one overall picking teams. When you really think, and that's I know that's a stretch to say because you're picking number one overall for a reason.
Correct.
And just like Chicago, you know what I'm saying? We all thought, and by the way I say we, literally, like the general public was like, wow, Chicago's got a pretty decent team, and they get the number one overall pick, and it ended up
Mm-hmm.
getting them like 5 total wins or 6 total wins. But so I think Tennessee is built decently enough. I think they have a decent enough offensive line. Their defense is good. I'm just saying good straight up. And so as far as what Cam Ward will be able to do, what I was gonna say was I think Tony Pollard is gonna be someone you should draft. I think he's gonna
Okay.
do good, and I think Cam Ward, since this is what's about him, pencil him in for me. 3,200 passing, 300 yards, not two 2 to 300 yards rushing, about 20 to 23 passing touchdowns, give him about 7 interceptions for a grand
Well,
total of he might put up 15 to 20 a week. So he's not
I,
somebody I would draft per se, but he might be somebody you want to keep on your waiver wire watch.
yeah, I mean, to me, obviously, we're a redraft pod, right? So if this was Dynasty, this would be different. We're talking about redraft leagues here. So Cam Ward, I don't hate like last round pick dart throw if you have a shaky quarterback situation. Like if you are in the Trevor Penix boat or you took JJ McCarthy from Minnesota or something like that. I'm not against the Cam Ward pick. I did look up who the tight end is. It's Chiga Conquo. Every year he's the basically the Kyle Pitts. Like he's got all the tools, he's putting it together, and then like it just can't stay consistent. So there's that. Tennessee did add Tyler Lockett. That is the wide receiver 2 right now. So Treylon Burks is now officially on cut watch. That's all I'm saying. So we'll put
That's
it
why I told
there.
him I have to find a new person. I was like, bro, you thinking like someone who might not
I
even make the team.
I
Like,
mean the
that's
wide
all,
I
don't get
like
me
Tyler
wrong.
Lockett more. That's why I said I had no other
No, no,
option.
no. Respect,
not
respect,
the wide
respect.
receiver room right now is very nasty. It's Calvin Ridley, it's Tyler
But he
Lockett,
could
it's Van
surprise us. So it's
Jefferson.
like this is the previous years. He could have a
Sure.
breakout year. So you
No,
never know.
in fact, don't they actually still have Tyler Boyd too?
I
No,
don't know.
he is currently no. He
Really?
he is not there. He left. I believe he was at I saw a rumor that he's visiting Philly. Um
I take him. I take Tyler Boyd as a 3.
that was the rumor
He's
that
just
I
throwing
saw.
names out there. Don't listen to that, Chris. He's just throwing
I'm
it out there.
I'll
That's
link you after the pod where I saw that from as well. It
it's
could have
okay.
been one
It's
of them
okay.
rumor mills. I'm just letting you know.
It's okay.
Just
We
letting
can
you
keep it
know.
going.
Stick
We
to
can keep it
Jair
going.
Alexander, brother. Come on, that's the only rumors we got over here.
Greedy Birds. If you guys don't know on the pod, they're both Philly fans, and there's not a single free agent or player in general that doesn't get linked to Philadelphia. That's kind
And
of the
do we
running
not
joke
get
here.
like 85%?
I mean, you're greedy. You're going to give a 1 year disrespect offer to everybody. It's
You
just a
say
matter of
greedy,
those
but
dumb
it's
enough to
all
take it.
about winning. We're in the franchise that wants to win. I mean, I'm sorry we're not the Cowboys who like glitz and glamour over glamour, not glamour, over winning. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys have rumors of like, will we trade for insert star player, and it's every star player besides Patrick Mahomes, like you're just greedy. It's fine. It happens.
Well, we
Uh,
might trade for Josh Allen. You never know.
we don't at this point. You might need another up back. Who knows?
Jalen Hurts
Uh,
and Josh Allen straight up.
goal
That's a
line
fair
weapon.
trade.
All
A
right,
fair
so
trade. Won the Super Bowl champ. Yeah, go ahead.
Tennessee, that'll wrap them up. I think we've spent more time than I've actually wanted to because I actually thought that some things got some interesting, right? So this is where we're finding those values late in these drafts. But I'm going to switch gears and we're going to throw it to a different team. I believe, Therm, you're on Houston, correct?
Nope. B.
Oh, okay. So instead of going to Houston, we'll save Houston. We'll go. We'll check in with Therm. Therm, what does Indianapolis look like right now with the flying Daniel Joneses?
Okay. So, as far as people that I like, there's the obvious. I mean, you're going to draft JT, right? Jonathan Taylor's
Mhm.
going. He's going in the first round. He should go in the first round, I should say. If he got to your second round, wow. Definitely get him as soon as possible. Because that's an obvious. But if I want to really pick somebody that I like for, because, we're about sleepers, Adam
Right.
Mitchell. I'd go for him. It's tough.
Like
It's
I do.
tough. It is tough taking anybody that catches the ball in this offense. That's tough because whether it's freaking Danny Jones or Anthony Richardson, I mean, the
It's
chances
feast
of
or
the
famine,
ball,
brother.
yeah, the chances of the ball reaching its target, it's slim to nothing, to be just perfectly honest. But I like Mitchell. I think he's a solid receiver. Again, this is sleeper. So I'm not saying do not spend a high pick on this man, but I am saying he's somebody you should draft and not save for the wire. Personally, I think he could come in, save you a couple weeks on your flex, and he'd be a good pickup, especially over Alec Pierce because Alec Pierce is someone you won't be able to go like, okay, I know he's gonna cook this game. One game he could give you 150. The next five he could give you 10 yards, and
And
that's
every
just the
time
truth.
he cooks, it's against me.
Well, there you go. And fans, you're not going to be playing B at all. So don't draft Pierce. Now for
But I
don't
mean,
like. Uh,
something to be said about that is just in general, like that's the point of some of these fantasy dart throws, right? It's like you get those players that they might get 2 points 1 week and 24 the next week, right? Just don't be the guy on the other end of the 24, right? Hope and
pretty
pray.
much.
That's all you can do, right?
Now
Um,
for my don't likes, for my don't likes, um, and it's kind of crazy because I like this guy's game. I do, but it's not worth fantasy. That's Mo Alley Cox. Okay, I like his game. I think he in real life it should be a solid tight end, but fantasy, I don't think he's broke 500 yards yet, like in the season. His touchdowns, they are first off, he's extremely touchdown dependent, but his touchdowns come
mhm.
in opportunities where you probably don't have him starting. So
And
that'd
he
be
just
my
lost his
guy.
job.
What do you mean?
He just lost his job.
They
They
just
took a first
drafted a
round
tight
tight
end.
end and Tyler Warren,
Oh
the
yeah,
kid
they
from Penn
did. That's
State,
right.
who
That's
I
right. They
mean,
did.
right
They
now,
did.
all the
Yeah.
reports from
Yeah.
camps are saying he's looking like the best player in blue and white. So,
Okay. Well, let me change up my whole thing. Don't draft any tight end from the Bengals because I don't. I'm sorry. Look, the only reason why I like Mitchell is because I just like his game. I think he's a very good player. I just don't trust the passing on this team. So it's like obviously somebody's gonna take Pittman, but good
I
luck.
wouldn't want him. I would. He used to be a wide receiver one. This year, he's sliding down to wide receiver two, maybe even a flex.
Goodbye.
I like Josh Downs. He has got hurt the last 2 years, but Josh Downs, when he's on the field, his numbers speak for themselves. The only reason why I say I like Downs is because Anthony Richardson's already hurt. So I
Yep.
do think Daniel Jones is going to get play. and Daniel Jones is going to be checking that ball down to the slot. Josh Downs is a starting slot. That's my only correlation there. I'm not married to it, but that's my. I think if Daniel Jones is in the lead of this offense, there's going to be a lot of short passes. So
Listen, all I'm gonna say is this, and then we can move on. I do like that take. You're not incorrect. And Downs, the crazy part is Downs is a good player.
it's a very good
Like
player. He's a
Downs is
very
a
good
good
player.
player. Mitchell's a good player. Pittman's a good player. All three of those wide receivers are good. They
Their offensive line
legitimately
is good.
are.
Their running back
Like
is
Running
they
back
good.
is
have a
good.
team. Like I'm not even just
Rookie tight
BSing
end.
y'all. Man. Like
No,
they have a team,
No,
but
I'm
the
here. And the
issue
defense is
is
pretty good too.
exactly. But the issue is Anthony Richardson literally averages about 55% on his completion, which is terrible. And when
Out of
those
Isaiah.
and just to let y'all know, when y'all look at his stat line, you see that 300 yards, 9 completions out of 30, 3 touchdowns,
yeah,
3 interceptions. Those 3 touchdowns were like 50-yard bombs. That one was to Pierce.
prayers.
One
They're prayers,
Two
man.
exactly,
was the Pierce.
exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And then that's not going to happen again for like 3 games. Now, if it's Danny Jones starting, well, I get it. He's in a different system, different coach, and all that. But we've seen Danny Jones for at least 5 years now. He's not airing out shit. And as far as him hitting the slot receiver, he had what 3, 4 slot receivers in New York. You know what I'm saying?
When he had Wandale,
Slayton,
I'll give him this. When he had Wandale
Robinson,
Robinson,
Shepard. Like,
Wandale Robinson got like 10 to 14 targets a game. They didn't all get
okay,
there,
and
but
that's my point.
he got the
And
targets.
that's my
That's all
point.
I it because Josh Downs is going to be free, right? So these are players that
Yes.
are in your flex category. They're bench spots. So if I'm going to get for bench spots, I want volume. That's all.
Hmm.
So if it's Anthony Richardson, Pittman's the only person that I would think of drafting from
Yep.
any of the receiving options.
Sure.
Um, but
Like,
yeah,
and
no,
drafting is a key
I think
word.
that's fair.
Drafting. Like,
Yes,
you can pick them up. You can pick up Josh Downs and Alec
these are
Pierce off
waiver
your waivers.
targets.
But
Hmm.
drafting, yeah, you're gonna do Pittman, and then like I said, I like my boy Mitchell, but drafting him is tough to say. It is
You'll see
really
it.
tough, even in
Click
a
the
very
little
late
flag.
round.
Click the little flag icon on your fantasy football app, right? Put them on the little watch spot, and then after that, you'll see them in week 5 or 6 when you actually need that spot to open back up. But
That's all
yeah, I
I got
think
for the
that's
Colts.
I will
right
say I love the
now.
Mitchell as a sleeper. Like that's my guy. I'm a fan.
You said
I
Mitchell,
like
Yeah, I'm a fan of him. He's really good. He
right?
really run routes and he
That's
has
what
good
I
hands.
completely, 100% agree. That's what I'm saying. Like they have a great
He
receiving core
might be
for
the
real.
best overall receiver. I'm not saying he's the best, but from a skill
Get
set, like
he's the most
sure,
well rounded. He's the most
right,
well rounded of the
right.
bunch.
But we won't see it because they're hamstrung by quarterback play.
and he might feed
The
him.
Colts would have been better off trading for Geno than going to get Danny Jones, to be honest. But Danny Jones is way cheaper, so I can't be mad at him.
Well, he's still going to cost them some money. They did sign him to a not so, quarter
About
backup
20 mil,
quarterback
isn't it?
contract. Yeah, it's not something that's you would traditionally give to a backup quarterback, right?
Sure.
So, for reference, Jameis Winston I think is making like 4 or 5 million in New York right now. Like, so Jameis, Daniel Jones, they're probably the same person at that point. One's just 15 million more expensive.
And and that's probably only literally because they have a rookie quarterback on a rookie
Yeah.
deal.
Yep. And for that, I mean, I think that wraps it up with the Colts. So now I think those are the two. These two teams have, I want to say, more dart throw, bench spot, sleeper potentials. Right? Get the known good product, which is Jonathan Taylor or Tony Pollard. Right? Get the known good from those other two teams in the AFC South. But now we're going to move into some of the AFC South juggernauts. Right? These are the teams we actually want players from that we're going to be drafting players early from. So I think, right? I'm here to lend my interest to you all to for you all to kind of correct my fantasy compass there. So Brady, what's it like down in H Town?
Well, you already know because I tried to tell this
I
man
can't
Chris
do it.
last year he was a dog. When DJ
Oh,
finesse Dex, my favorite for the Texans is Joe Mixon.
Mm.
I was
Are you
wrong.
worried about the new Nick Chubb signing?
No, I'm
No.
not at all.
Fan
I
base, I
think
just
it's
want
a
to let you know,
touchdown.
I was in the wrong. I thought Joe Mixon was done. I thought he was washed. I thought he was done in Cincy because he looked like he's slowing down in Cincy his last year, and then he cooked me. Good.
And he did get injured. He did get injured earlier in the season.
He
So I
finesse.
did. He was a buy low trade target.
Finesse.
So I think that was a. I
Finesse.
wouldn't say finesse. I wouldn't
It
say
was
finesse.
finesse. Bro,
JSN
what did you
still had
get
a good
for him?
JSN.
Finesse.
I traded
That's kind of bad.
JSN.
Jason
I
kind of
trade.
cooked.
It wasn't just that. I traded JSN and I traded Rashad White from Tampa before Bucky started. This was before Bucky started. All right. Rashad White was still the starter as of like week 3 or
So
4.
Javonte Williams was a starter. That doesn't make it a good trade, brother.
He was still
What are you talking
getting no. All right. So
about?
he was still the starter. He was still productive. He was still getting at least 10 to 15 points a game plus JSN, who ended up finishing good as well. So it wasn't a
Look,
finesse in my case. But
I'm
as
not mad
again,
at it. I'm just
Mixon
saying,
is a
like,
buy low trade target.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying, just because they're the starter, it does not necessarily mean they're
Hey
good
man,
at that. Alexander Madison was a starter for the Raiders. He was garbage.
neither of those people performed like Rashad White, though.
I
I'll
mean,
put it that way.
fair
Rashad White
point.
had a
Yes,
back injury,
yes,
and I was like, I don't trust that for the rest of the season, so he had to go.
fair enough.
That was
Fair
my
enough.
that was my synopsis.
My fault, B. I did not interrupt. It was just hilarious hearing it from Pope. So
Like I
go
was
for
saying,
it.
Joe Mixon's my
He asked
favorite.
Joe Mixon's there. He's got some goal line competition now with Nick Chubb there.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Eh,
Still
I
I'm
is my
think
saying,
favorite. But my
I like Mixon.
another
I still like
favorite,
Mixon.
since I already have a favorite, I would say my sleeper would be Nico Collins, even though he's more of a favorite. But I only put him as sleeper because of his injury history.
I mean,
interesting.
I think he's still a sleeper in the wide receiver one category. I think people are still wanting him to prove it as a wide receiver one, and they don't put him on
He's
the
been
same
doing it for
respect
like
or
2.5
tier.
years.
But that's what I'm
Well,
saying. He's been consistent when healthy.
That's what
I
I'm
thought
saying.
you
I put
picked
him
that
as my sleeper because of the
I
injury.
thought you picked that wide receiver that they got to replace Diggs. Who was it?
They got Christian
It was
Kirk.
there you go. I thought you
Mhm.
picked him to be honest with you.
As a sleeper?
Yeah. Because Nico
Oh,
doesn't feel like a sleeper to me.
that's
Like
what I'm
if
saying.
he's
I'm
not
only picking Nico as a sleeper because of his injury history, and I'm picking Mixon as my favorite. So because
I,
Mixon's my
Yeah,
fair,
favorite, I'm
fair,
putting
he's
Nico
bullish
sure,
as
on
my
him, right?
sleeper.
sure, fair.
So
Yeah,
so
I'm
I'm
not
not
really,
mad at it. Sure.
I'm not really
bullish
Yeah,
on
bullish
yeah,
on
no, I'm
Nico.
not
Nico.
mad at it. I
I
like it.
just guarantee more Mixon.
Sure. I feel it. Yeah, you alright, brother?
Granted,
Oh, damn. Well, hope
So
you
as far as Nico goes, because I do like Mixon. I do like where you get him in drafts. As far as Nico, what is your thought process around making him your wide receiver one for your
I'm okay
team?
with it. I'm
Are
okay
you
with it.
comfortable with Nico's
Yes.
injury history,
Yep.
taking him in the second
Joe,
round?
I'm
Okay.
okay with it. I'm okay
only
with it
because
because
he played better.
Nico's a dog. Like, he's a dog, and CJ, that's his dog. Like, let's just be real with it. Like CJ trusts Nico. He's going to hit him any given moment. Like that's
Oh yeah.
his go-to target. So I 100% would take him as first round. To be honest with you, like late in the first round, sure. Don't get me wrong. Like yes, there's other players I'd have before him, but I'm saying Nico's not someone I would just let just kind of ride to the back. Like it
No,
feels
I
like a
wouldn't
bet.
either.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
would
you're
take the
betting on
risk if
something
he. It
bad.
depends on who's there, but I would take the risk on him even with the injury history because he has a
Right.
lot of
And
replayability, and he's
exactly.
Tank is still
Exactly.
hurt, so Tank is still recovering, so he's guaranteed
Yeah.
more targets. But more targets just probably means more injury
Because
risk.
like even last year, he got hurt in the beginning of the season, and the second half, that nigga took off.
He has to
He
be
was
a dog.
yeah. So
I
I would
mean,
take him
it feels
regardless.
good to be the focal point of an offense, especially after Diggs went down. Right now,
I
Nico
mean,
Collins is wide receiver 8. He's in between Drake London and AJ Brown in drafts.
so to me, Nico's moving up there in terms of the wide receiver rankings and, as a whole. Like he's already
Yeah.
in the top 10 for me, over McLaurin,
No,
and I think
he's in the expert consensus rating. McLaurin is further down. Right now,
I mean
expert
in
consensus
fantasy,
has Brian
Mhm.
Thomas Jr., number
Mhm.
7, Nico Collins, number 8, Drake London, and AJ Brown at 9 and 10.
That's disrespectful to AJ Brown. They did 1 year, bro. Like it's crazy. In 1 year, where he led the league in
But I
yards
mean
per
the
catch.
only two wide receivers ahead of him that I think you would have an actual problem with fantasy wise is Nico Collins and Drake London. The wide receivers ahead of him make perfect sense. Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Puka, Amon Ross, CD, Justin
None of those
Jefferson,
make
Chase.
sense. No, none of them make sense. AJ Brown is AJ Brown. All
We're going
right.
to move along. We're going to move along here. That is not going to get anywhere. All right. So as far as Houston goes,
I follow Pope.
my last thing for you, Brady, while you did your immense research on Houston, is CJ Stroud a fantasy relevant quarterback for you to trust?
Whew, that's a good
What do you
question.
mean by that? Like to
It's
be
a
on my
very good
roster or a
question.
starter?
Starter.
Starter. Yeah. Roster is
Are
whatever.
are you building a team that's so stacked with wide receivers, running backs, tight ends that you can come around in that fourth, fifth round, and grab a CJ Stroud and trust him as your starting quarterback?
Is he going in that
I
early?
personally think you can, but personally for me, I'm not drafting Stroud. But I think
So-
for the general public, it will work.
Excuse me.
I'm just not a fan from a fantasy standpoint. But
Is he
he
really?
would do well. Like if I had a choice, I would pick him. But
As far as quarterback goes, he's ranked quarterback, 17 right now. So he's
Oh,
pretty much
okay.
a backup for most leagues.
Yeah.
But right now, you have Brock Purdy, Jordan Love in front of him, and Justin Fields behind him. So he's stacked in between there. He's pretty much kind of
That's
like the
hilarious.
last of the good tiers of quarterbacks. But
The funny thing is, if this is fantasy related, I would actually put Justin Fields way ahead of him because Justin Fields runs like no other than
yeah,
Lamar.
I mean,
Like,
right now, quarter expert consensus have him at 18. So they got 17 other quarterbacks in front of them. I think
I'm
that's a
not mad at
mistake,
that.
obviously, because of the running premium on running quarterbacks. But it remains to be seen what the Jets are going to do, and they think that
Right.
the new head coach that came over from Detroit is going to give a lot of the goal line and work like that to the running backs. So
That's
they're not
fine, but
expecting a lot of rushing touchdowns out of Justin Fields.
Justin Fields will just take off from 40 yards out and possibly score. But either way, we're talking about CJ Stroud, and I just want to answer that question. I would not take him in the fourth. That's reserved for Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and that's it. To be honest, like there's no other quarterback. I mean, if Patty comes back to who he was this year, then him too. But those are the only three fantasy quarterbacks I'm taking before round 10. Just them three. And maybe
Well,
JD5. He might be in there too because he had a hell of a lot of rushing yards
if
this
I
year.
do the counting, it's looking like by pick 37, Jalen Hurts, who's currently sitting at QB4, will be gone. Burrow gone at pick
Uh,
47. So you're if
even
you're in a
Joe.
if you're in a 12-man league, that's
Yeah.
around the fourth to sixth round for where CJ is going to end up going, is what I'm saying. Pretty
That's
much in
still
the
too
sixth,
early.
but that's
Like,
that's where the picks fall, if you will. Now, granted, that's just them in a list right now because teams are going to double up at wide receiver, double up at tight
sure.
end. So those rankings are going to get skewed by the time we get
Right.
to draft season. But
So
um,
fans, I'm gonna just let y'all know. Even a quarterback like Joe Burrow, because his money, his game, everything that makes him great is predicated on him throwing. He's someone I'm not taking in the first 7 rounds, 8 rounds. Lamar, Josh, Justin, Jalen, and Jaden are quarterbacks that will give you some passing stuff, but they'll give you rushing. And that's what you're looking for in fantasy. Okay, rushing yards from a quarterback because every 10 rushing yards, if you're in standard leagues, is a point. Every 25 passing yards in standard leagues is a point. You see the difference there. That's all. It takes if you get 50 yards rushing, that's 5 points compared to 50 yards passing is two. That is simple math. That's all.
yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of been the meta for a while when it comes to the quarterback positions, right? It's just find people that have rushing upside. But you can't disrespect elite arms as well.
Correct. I agree.
Play to the strengths of
Correct.
your team, right?
Yes.
Um, Me typically, I tend to go quarterback a little later. I don't typically go premium at quarterback, so I'm in that Fields realm, that CJ Stroud realm. And if CJ could put up a Burrow like season where he's throwing 40 and 50 touchdowns, I'll take that too.
Possible.
Because
Possible.
my thing is, and this is my philosophy with quarterbacks, it's I look at how many weapons of your offense are getting drafted. If you have a team with a lot of weapons from that offense getting drafted, i.e., Philadelphia, right? That means we're going to be scoring a lot. That means we have a lot of opportunities, right? So Jalen Hurts to me jumps ahead of a lot of quarterbacks because I'm taking a Devontae Smith, a AJ Brown, a Saquon, a Dallas G. So Jalen Hurts has immense value for me because he has a lower floor than anybody else when it comes down to it. And tush push ain't banned, so you got to keep it.
Respect.
You got to respect it. Therm, you did a little bit of research on our friends in the northern panhandle of Florida,
Wait,
Jacksonville
no. Say it.
Jaguars.
Say it like the coach.
No, because Liam Cohen is a traitor.
Duval.
He's a traitor. And he told Tampa that he was coming back
Okay.
and staying as our OC. And then in the middle of the night, reneged on the deal to take a head coaching job. So no,
He's a good man.
he can burn for all I care. He can
Respect.
burn.
Respect. Okay. So Jacksonville. Jacksonville is so tricky. There are not too many people that I love on this team, and this is the truth. Let me go to hit y'all. There's the obvious, which is Brian Thomas, right? But I'm going to say Travis Hunter. That's my love. That's my hope, to be honest. I think he's going to be dominant. I hope he's going to be
Mhm.
dominant. I think he's going to set, well, assuming he does the two-way stuff, he's going to set a bunch of
I was
records
like,
anyway.
is he going to be
But
dominant on the defensive end or the
I want him
offensive
to
end?
be. I think he'll be dominant altogether for a nice 3 4 years before he fully settles into whichever role he likes the most.
Okay.
Probably wide receiver because it gives him the most money. But I think he is somebody that you can take, but very late. Do not draft him early. He's not wide receiver one. He's not wide receiver two. And if you're playing a league like us, he's not wide receiver three. I'm just gonna be honest. He's more of a
Yeah.
flex until we really see that Trevor Lawrence and altogether the offense trust him, then he could be your full time wide receiver three by like week seven or something if he's been cooking. But that's what I like. I think Travis Hunter is going to be really, 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 really good in this league, and it's going to be fun to watch. So my dislike, whew, it is the Jags. So like I could go Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I could go Travis
Tank.
Etienne. I could go Tank Bigsby.
What?
But
Not Tank.
Well, the thing about your avoids, right, is you want to avoid them at where they're getting drafted, right? So Tank is
yeah,
not even a draftable guy. I think ETN is taking a large hit. He was basically a round two running back last year. Now he's sitting in round four or later.
hmm
Had a terrible year last year.
okay.
Um,
So then, if
T
this is where
Law,
we're going.
Terrence Lawrence is two quarterbacks under CJ Stroud. So the conversation we just had, which is pretty much a QB2 dart throw, Trevor Lawrence is in the back half of that. Brian Thomas Jr., you got to take in the first round now. He's pick seven in current mocks. It's as soon as Neighbors gets taken off the board, Brian Thomas Jr. is right there. So you're spending a first round pick and building around Brian Thomas Jr. Are you comfortable with
I,
that?
I can't say I don't like it. I'm sorry. Like he seems, if he can make it work with Mac Jones, he's
Hmm.
gonna make it work with Trevor Lawrence. I know we can say it all. Like when he played with Trevor, he wasn't popping off like that. And then as soon as Mac got in the game, he was cooking. But if he can make it work with Mac Jones, he can make it work with Trevor Lawrence. So I'm not gonna say I dislike Brian Thomas. I'm not mad at him if you take him in your first round. To be honest with you, even second round, I'm cool with that. So then fine. If that's what we're doing, then my dislike would be Trevor Lawrence. He's not someone I would draft at all. Period. Like period. I would not have him on my team. I wouldn't even look at him for the waiver wire. He's not a good quarterback. He will not win you this league. He sucks, and that's just where I'm at with it.
He said, "Yo, even on a bye week, don't look my way, brother. Give me that Tua."
I mean, yes,
Oh,
100%. Take two
oh,
over him. Like for
I know,
real.
I know.
oh.
Heck,
He is ahead of him for
I'd even
all
want to
intents and
say,
purposes.
take the Colts quarterback over Trevor Lawrence, whichever one it is. Why? Because
Oh
while their
man.
wide receivers are better than the Jags, I have a better feeling that the quarterback will do better than Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. I mean, I'll not disagreeing with what you're putting out there, right? The only thing that I will say is right now, personally, I'm avoiding most of this team just because
Respect.
I hate where you have to draft all of them, even though I like the players. Like I like the players that you're mentioning, right? I do like um BTJ, right? I think he's a beast. And I think even last year, Christian Kirk was still there getting targets. Evan Ingram was
Mm-hmm.
still there getting targets.
He would have
So
been my sleeper in Christian Kirk, but he's gone.
yeah, but it took, and BTJ was being just a rookie, right? Now that he finally like, this is my team, this is my thing. Like, I think he'll do a lot better. But even Travis Hunter, I mean, right now he's sitting in between two of our favorites on this podcast, personally, one for each of us, right? And that is wide receiver. He's wide receiver 31 right now. In front of him at wide receiver 30 is Jamison Williams from Detroit. Me and Brady absolutely love Jamison Williams this year, and Xavier Worthy at wide receiver 32. So it's like, if you're giving me the
I
option,
take.
I'm probably taking either of those two over
I agree.
Travis.
Yeah, I
But
would too.
Absolutely.
so that's
Yeah,
my
I
only
would
thing
too.
is like where I have to take him and the uncertainty of full time slot wide receiver or not. Because if he
And
plays full time slot
Trevor
wide
playing
receiver
bad.
and Trevor playing bad,
Why
I
would
mean,
he wouldn't be in the slot? Why would he be in the slot? He'd be on the outside.
I think if they take him, he'll probably be in the slot.
You think he has the lateral movement for a slot wide receiver?
He has the burst, just like what makes him special at cornerback is having that burst and instincts. Like he has that short area quickness. He has great hands. I mean, I
I don't
think
know. You
in
profile him
Liam
as a
Cohen.
deep ball specialist
So
on the outside.
Liam Cohen's. Well, no, he was always the short yardage guy.
Yeah, he
Like
took it home.
yeah, he's the short yardage guy that's going to take the slant 80 yards. He's going to do the comebacks. He's your 3rd and 10. Get me the first down. He's getting to the sticks and getting the first down. But
Yeah.
Liam Cohen's offense is predicated on motion, movement, and different things like that. I think they're going to leave BTJ on the outside to handle number one corners and safeties. And I think
Mhm.
Travis is going to eat underneath. I don't. It's really just them two in this wide receiver room. Like
So
De'Ami
you think
Brown
he's
is
going to be
there.
Devontae
Like
Smith?
there's. I can't say that I 100% off the top of my head know exactly how Smitty's game is. I know he's Mr. Reliable. That's my perception of Devontae Smith. Like when they need something, they know they can go to him.
Except the Washington game. But that's okay, Smitty. I forgive you.
Now I'm bringing up PTSD.
Love Smitty.
But what I will say is in
Love
Jacksonville,
Smitty.
I just I don't like where I have to take any of their players because there's like no matter what round I'm looking at, there's always a different player. Just like we mentioned earlier, there's BTJ there, but there's also AJ Brown there. I think I'm going AJ. Like I'm not going to take BTJ over AJ just because I like their situation better in Philly. So for me, I'm almost that. And just to wrap it all up, right? That's all. I'm almost avoiding as a whole, if I can, Indianapolis Colts because of the quarterback situation, the Jacksonville
Except for JT.
Jaguars because of the quarterback situation, except JT. Correct. Um, and those two
I
I'm
agree.
avoiding. I almost rather take some of the Tennessee players because of where I can get them super late in drafts. But Houston's the only team that I'm like actually looking at premium picks to kind of spend on.
I agree. You're not wrong. The AFC South is in a dumpster fire moment yet again. It's not too many safe picks, especially if they have to rely on a quarterback. And then running back wise, you have who's your boy in Houston? I keep forgetting.
Joe
Joe
Mixon.
Mixon.
Yeah, Mixon. You got Tony Pollard, and what?
Well, think about it. They're a
You
young
know,
division. They're a young division with young quarterbacks.
JT.
Trevor Lawrence is the senior quarterback of this division, right? Everybody else
Right.
is super young. So I think with that, we can probably wrap up the AFC South. I trust Houston. I do not trust Jacksonville. I want to trust Tennessee over Indianapolis, but Indy is just JT or nothing, man. I do like the tight
Yep.
end Tyler Warren as a late dart throw. That is my only that is person I like, but it depends solely on who the quarterback is, and that's my problem. I think he'll be great later on in his career, maybe not his rookie season. But with that being said, we'll see y'all next week when we get
Hold
into
on. I just
the
want to say
best division
one
in
last thing.
football, which is the NFC South. Therm, close us out.
Only draft JT, man. If you're doing the AFC South, just Jonathan Taylor and move on. That's it.
All right, B signing off.
All right, y'all.
No.